I mean, in the
Oh,
UK, we've got some like prominent far right people, even like Tommy Robinson, Katie Hopkins, who've apparently, discovered a love for Israel and kind of clothe themselves in flags at marches and stuff. And it's a very strange kind of
it is
spectacle.
strange. It is strange. It's a very interesting phenomenon.
Mm.
And the explanation for that you'll find, I think, kind of paradoxical. It is true that a lot of right wing, they call it alt right or
Yeah.
neo fascist. I don't know why everyone has to use neo. They're not neo fascists, they're fascists. This, this is not,
Neo sounds more sinister.
it sounds
Sounds cooler.
more interesting, like you're more profound when you say
Yeah.
neo, like you knew the real thing and now you know the neo. No,
To pontificate, isn't it?
Yeah.
but they all love Israel.
Yeah.
They all love Israel, whether it's Bolsonaro in Brazil or Orban in Hungary. They all love Israel, these fascists. And it's an interesting question why. And the world's leading authority on fascism is an Israeli. And he pondered the question, and his response was quite illuminating. He's a smart guy. He said they love Israel because, in their minds, I know you'll be surprised by what I'm about to say, Israel is not Jewish. You see, in Western culture, there was a kind of traditional image of a Jew. A Jew was cerebral, tricky in business, physically weak, feeble, like a Woody Allen type. That was a Jew in the West. Israel is, oh, and also cerebral and progressive in his or her thought. That was another aspect.
Mm.
But then, okay, there is an element of the typical Jewish or anti-Semitic stereotype. They do think Israel controls the world.
Mm.
They do. They think the Jews control the world. So that's true. That's one of the reasons the fascist right likes Israel, because they think Israel controls the White House.
Mm.
So we can get to Israel, we can get to Trump. So it's just a way station to get to the United States. But mostly, Israelis, they are Übermenschen. That's what the Nazis called the Supermen. The Übermenschen. They're fighters. They're racists. They're supremacists. They hate Muslims and they hate Arabs and they hate Africans.
Mm.
That's what appeals to them. So this scholar said they love Israel, but they don't see Israel as Jewish.
Would you
If
see
you
them along
if
a
you
similar
take
thing
someone,
about BJP's India?
well, also Modi,
Yeah.
yeah, but if you take someone like Woody Allen, who was a typical Jewish stereotype, do you see him as a fighter? Not really. Do you see him as killing Arab children? Not really. Do you see him as hating Arabs and hating Muslims? Not really. It's not the type. It's not the type.
Mm.
But if you look at Avigdor Lieberman, yeah, you see that. You see a little Hitler in that guy. Actually, a big Hitler in that guy.
Mm.
You see a Hitler. And that's what they like. So they like Israel not because it's Jewish, but despite it being Jewish.
Mm.
They don't even see it as Jewish.
Some
They
will
see
say that we Muslims managed to unite what were traditionally opposites. So we've a great achievement on that respect.
there's some truth to that, I suppose. I suppose, yeah.
You're welcome, sort of thing.